Hello my dear crafters, it's Asia Marquet here, Lemon Creation, with a new project. Today the set of two ATCs with my new stencil, with a crackle paste, and of course with a lot of explanation. So stay tuned! For this project I opted for two ATCs, and I actually thought I'm gonna do a short or reel, so very short movie, and the first part is a little, kind of almost upside down. But I wanted to show you one of my newest stencils. This is Criss-Cross stitching, and with this stencil I'm gonna be using Finnabair texture paste. This is white Crackle. And I have to tell you honestly, this paste is better to use in a big quantity, so it actually is, it stays on the paper like in the big kind of lumps, which is not the case of the stencil. On top of that, this stencil is quite intricate, so there is not that much paste on it. And the crackles, I knew that even before I started, they are not that visible. They are still there. I don't know if you can see them here, but they are not that visible. But because lately I'm using very often cream paste, I said to myself that I'm gonna do something with Crackle. And of course, the best way is to leave it to dry overnight, but because it's very warm here right now, I left it for a few hours and I got the Crackle. But as I said, the Crackle paste is better to use in like a thick layer. I'm using two magicals from Lindy. One is Time Travel Teal, the one which I'm using right now, and the other is Soft Shore Sand. I love them both, and I think they are working very well together. It's a very nice color combo. And as always with magicals, you have a few ways of adding them to the paper. This time I opted for, just adding some water and sprinkling them on top, knowing kind of what colors am I gonna get, because I did already one swatch with those two colors and I absolutely love the effect. So I knew I'm not gonna get like pink surprises in the in the middle of the card. And that's very often the case with magicals, that you have this beautiful but sometimes unexpected surprises, like with a blue color you can get some some kind of splashes of for example pink. So I left it like that and I let it dry once again in the air. So I didn't use my heat gun. I was doing another project in the meantime, so I said I can wait. And now I'm adding the Archival ink to the edges of the card, and because there is a stencil with the paste done on it, it's quite hard to add to blacken the edges. You have to work hard and be careful, because some pieces may actually fall off of the card, some pieces of the stencil, of the texture paste, so just be careful with that. But yes, it's still doable and it still looks nice because it gives this black contrast to the whole page. And so the next step, I'm gonna be adding my paper elements from the Winged and Company book I design. They are drawn by me and they are available in my shop, so if you want to have a look, I'm gonna give you a link down below. And of course, as always, I cut them and I'm also adding a black color to the edges, so there is no this white space after cutting them visible. Of course, a little bit off the camera, but it's very hard, if I have to stay in the camera to do that. I actually may do some mistake and just color on the wings, because the camera is quite far from my face and I like to just do it almost in my face. And as you can see, one of the moths is cut in half because I use one half already for another project, and instead of throwing the other half, I just decided that I'm gonna use it right now. And those are two circles I cut with the die cuts from PaperArtsy die, which I really love. Again, you're gonna get the all the products I use in this video in the description box below. So I don't, from the top of my head, don't remember exactly the name of this die, but it comes from PaperArtsy, Australian, small Australian company, which makes very, very nice die cuts and stamps and stencils. And I'm gonna emboss them, just because it's been a long time since I embossed something. So I'm using Lindy's embossing powder, Lindy's Gang embossing powder. And I actually didn't pay too much attention to the embossing. I didn't need the embossing to be super perfect, and as you can see, there are some white spaces visible still on these circles, and I don't mind. If you know me already, you know that I like a little bit of crunch, and I am not perfectionist at all. Some of you might like that, some of you may not, but that's me. So it's rarely when I do things really like, in perfect way. I think anyway, there is no perfect way. There are always, some small mistakes and mishaps and stuff like that. So I just let it be like it is. And I actually like the fact that there is some white visible because you could see more clearly the pattern on these circles. So I left it like that. And so, because I have those two moths, one is smaller and it's a whole moth, and the other is cut in half, I decided I'm gonna, for the smaller one, use the whole circle and just place it kind of underneath the circle but touching it. And for the other, I'm gonna cut the circle also, so like that they are kind of off, the second one is kind of off the card. And I use Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive, but I actually strongly advise you, if you have stenciling done which has a lot of texture, to maybe actually use 3D matte gel. But with matte gel it's kind of tricky also, because if you have circles like I have with a small pattern, when you have to actually add quite a lot of glue to hold it in place, the glue may run in between the pattern and you may have a little bit of mess. So as you've seen, I just kind of put my kind of small jars with paint brushes and stuff to hold it in place until the glue ties everything perfectly. And to add a little bit more of interest, the thing I haven't done for a while also, I use a little bit of black thread and just added, kind of, I don't know, just kind of make a lumps of thread and added a tiny bit of glue so it holds in place. And I think it's a nice touch. Sometimes, when I don't know what to add and I feel like I'm adding the same things all over again, I try to change and come back to the things I used to do before and I kind of haven't done for a while. And for my moth, I'm gonna use the 3D foam tape. And as you can see on this side, you see a lot the traces I've done with the marker when I was blackening the edges. So that's what I was talking about, I have to have them really close to my face, so like that I don't do it on the other side, because that wouldn't be looking nice on the back, nobody is the wiser, nobody can see it. And now it's just a simple matter of placing them onto the paper, and this 3D foam, it's really nice, it holds everything really well in place, no matter if you have a texture underneath or it's just a plain paper. I don't know if you see that, but I see that there is a black missing. I kind of feel that all the dark color is concentrated in the circles, and I don't like that. As I always repeat, I like to have some kind of coherence between my focal points and the rest of the page. So yes, the edges are blackened with the Archival ink, but I'm thinking that it's not enough and I need a little bit of black. And sometimes when you are not happy with your projects, that's what I advise you to do. Try to add some splatter, because yes, it's a simple thing, and yes, we are adding it a lot, but once again, there are a lot of crafters who love the splatter. There is a reason to it. splatter is always some nice finishing touch. And if you are not happy, if you feel like there is too much, I don't know, the page doesn't have enough contrast, or there's something missing, try adding splatter. Very often it actually fixes the problem. And on top of that, it looks nice, so why not use it? And for my sentiments, this time I'm not gonna be using my words. I'm gonna be using the words I printed from internet. It's actually a haiku. It's the Japanese poetry, very short and very meaningful, and I love it. And I've been using it lately, quite a lot, I think. But I really like it. What I've done, I just found the old haiku on the internet, the ones which are actually are anonymous usually, and which I think I'm not gonna have any copyright problems with. And I just simply printed them. I wrote them in Word and printed them on the regular printing paper. And just so they are sturdy enough, now, as you've seen, I am placing them on the cardstock paper. So like that, I glue them, I put them on cardstock paper, and I can put them without worrying that, the texture, it's gonna be visible from underneath, that they're gonna not glued correctly to the paper, without any worries about that. So very simple method, and for all of you who are missing, the words and stuff like that, you can just do it. It's very easy. Well, very easy. It takes time to actually find things, print them out, but sometimes it's worth it. And they actually gonna take a big part of my ATCs. But I don't mind. Usually I add a small sentence, but I wanted to add something a little bit more. As you've seen, my ATCs are quite charged. There is a lot of texture, a lot of color, and so I wanted to also add a tiny bit of white. And once again, I'm gonna glue them. I started with Nuvo Deluxe once again, and I changed it later for 3D matte gel. And they were still, I was still having problems with sticking them to the page, to the ATCs, because, as I said, they are very textured. So I used these metal clips, to hold them into place. And that was the end of my ATCs. I'm really happy with how they turn out. I'm really happy with my stencil also. It's the first time I'm using this stencil ever. So it was an experiment. And I absolutely love the small poetry on them. This is it from me this time. I hope you will still enjoy the video. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I am always happy also to answer to all your comments. I really appreciate all the thumbs up, and no, I don't speak about that too often because I don't really like, but it means a lot to me. My new subscribers, my old subscribers, the people who comment, and there are some of you who comment constantly, always have a good word for me, and I do really appreciate that. And if you want to check my products, as I said, there is a link, there's gonna be a link down below the video. I have a tiny business, and I do my designs by myself, and I'm really happy also when I see that you like it. This is it. I'm gonna stop talking right now, and I'm gonna leave you with nice music, wishing you a beautiful day, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.